I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, Etienne Crete. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful name? Say your name, Etienne. You say it the way you would say it.
Etienne Crete.
Oh,
Very good,
yeah, it sounded so much better when you said Etienne Crete. Etienne Crete. Yeah, so, hey, Etienne, what part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Montreal, Canada right now.
Oh, wonderful. So this is a French name, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wonderful. So, please tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting.
I would say I'm doing a lot of different things these days, and I'm in a lot of different industries, I would say. But one of the biggest thing I went all in on was trading currencies for about 4 years now.
Wow. Now, on your podcast, the last episode you were speaking about, it's one thing to be part-time, but it's another thing to switch from part-time to full-time, right?
Definitely.
Are you part-time or full-time?
I'm pretty much full-time right now, although my trading doesn't take that much time, and that's what I like to do. So I realized early on in my trading that just trading for me would not be this thing that I would like to do. I like to impact people. I like to have a positive impact on other people's life and to do something meaningful. So that's why I'm trading kind of full-time, but doing a lot of things on the side also.
Yeah. Tell us about the side hustle things.
Well, so I'm doing a podcast. Everything I do right now is around trading. So I have a podcast. I do videos every single day. Try to share my wisdom with people. Try to share what I learned. And I'm all about surrounding myself with the right people. So I've been interviewing traders and I've been hanging out with traders, trying to share the lessons and the things I learned over time myself. Because I'm not perfect. I totally know. And I get better every single day. And I try to share those lessons with other people so that they can get the benefit of it.
What's your first language?
French.
Oh, okay. Your second language?
English.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. So, all right. So you've been trading and you're doing that, and now I love the fact that the podcast is not something that you've created because you want to. It's not like the thing that you're doing because you want. It's an extension. Then it seems. Is that accurate? It's an extension of who you are. The podcast.
Yeah, I think so. Although starting a podcast for me was really, really hard. Like it's not something that came up to me as the number one idea and that I wanted to do as soon as possible. So there was a lot of resistance.
Yeah.
But for me that was a way for me to learn at the same time and to help other people as well.
What about the value you've gotten from doing so many episodes thus far?
I think it's just incredible. Like talking with all these people, all people are different, and you cannot pick the lesson from everyone. But from every single interview I do, I always get something that I learned, something new, and that I can implement myself. And when I started my podcast, I was not trading profitably. So when I started the podcast, I was not trading profitably. I was losing money. And then a few months later, almost a year later, I became profitable in trading.
Wow.
So that's all the value there is to it, I think.
So you're tried and tested and true, right? You
exactly.
did it. Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great. You didn't say the name of the podcast.
Desire to Trade.
Yeah, say it slowly.
Desire to Trade.
The art of trading. Is that what you're saying?
Desire to Trade.
Desire to trade. Yeah. There's your accent. Usually it's my accent that gets play on the podcast, but yeah, it's definitely your accent. No, you're good. Let me just pull this back up. I did listen to the podcast, Desire to Trade podcast, and you have Forex trading tips and interviews, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, it was pretty cool listening to you this morning. All right, champion, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
The past 3 years for me have been really, really changing. I changed a lot of things, and that's the time where I became profitable in trading. But one of the things that I did since more than 3 years, I think, has been journaling every single day. So taking a notebook every night, writing down some thoughts and some things I think about, some things I'm grateful for, and just doing that every single day for about 3 years now. For sure.
How does it make you feel?
It's just incredible. All the lessons you get. Just wondering sometimes how, what level or what stage I would be at if I didn't take those thoughts and those ideas down. I think there would be a lot of things that I would have missed.
So I journal as well, right? And one of the concerns I have is when would I get time to go through these? Do you have that feeling as well?
Yeah, well, I go through my journal every month. So for me, the end of the month is
Oh,
kind of a sign to go back and read like the past 30 pages or the past pages for the month.
yeah.
And that's kind of how I do it. But whenever I forget to do this, I'm kind of overwhelmed a little bit because then I have to go back and I don't know like what I missed or
Yeah,
so.
I'm
If it's been
afraid.
5 months, you didn't look back, it's kind of hard to go back to 5 months of journals.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I journal on a yellow pad. And what I've done recently is I go through the yellow pages on one side and then I turn them over and go through on the other side. And it just feels really good to have a yellow pad filled with my thoughts. Very effective. It just is challenging to look at the idea of going through it just a bit. So I'll try the month thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the month. Yeah, definitely try. Why would you suggest to someone that's listening that they even consider doing what you've done with journaling?
It's just incredible. Like all the ideas you have on a daily basis, you need to be able to act on them. And like everything you hear, you might hear something really powerful one day, but if you don't take action on it or if you don't write it down, you forget it the next day. So you need to have some sort of system. And the cool thing is that you can see all your progression. So I look back at a journal from like 2 years ago where I had like no followers and no one listening to my videos. And that's like a big change.
Yeah.
But I can see like how this happened. And I can see that everything like progress over time. And that's what I like to see.
That's great. Well, amazing audience. Again, we are live with Etienne Crete. Again, he pronounces his name so much better than me, right? So you could always hit the 15-second rewind button if you need to hear that there. But he's the podcast host of Desire to Trade podcast, Forex trading tips and interviews with highly successful traders. Etienne, let's switch gears for a moment now and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful warm blue Caribbean water. Etienne, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I would say it's about Christmas and family back in Montreal, Canada. So with the snow and everything, we used to meet up at Christmas every year. And that's probably the earliest thing I can remember of meeting up with family and like having gifts and everything and unwrapping them. I think that's the earliest memory I have.
How old were you in this earliest memory?
I was probably 4 or 5, not that older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I don't know. I guess it's the family theme that's around this. And it's been just good moments. So it's easy to remember something really, really good when you're young. So I think that's why.
How old are you at the time of this recording?
23.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, so I had this guy on earlier, right? And he is also 23, right? It was like my first conversation. He's in Denmark, Nicky Fries. And again, I'm not saying his name just the way like your name is, right? But it was intriguing to see that he expressed the same earliest childhood memory, Christmas, and coming down and getting the present. I just find it pretty amazing that individuals that connect with that earliest childhood memory and the value that comes from goal setting, if you would, in that, you do things a certain way. It's preparation, right? Like to have the gifts there for the family when they get there, it takes preparation. And even with trading and the thing that you've gravitated to with that, it takes some level of preparation, right? Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, a lot of preparation and a lot of review also.
It's amazing how it connects, right? Like you being the person that loves that and now doing this. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I didn't think about these kind of similarities, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I don't know if I was listening to that much music at 12, but I would have to say it's been something from probably Simple Plan. I don't know if you know the group Simple Plan. It's a group from Montreal.
Okay.
Or from, I think Montreal.
Song? What's one song?
There was a song called Welcome to My Life, I think.
Yeah. But it's amazing how these things connect, though. I mean, hey, you've definitely set up a simple plan, haven't you? And for your walk of life, right?
Wow, yeah. I love it. That's right. I'm all about simplifying stuff now, so it's pretty interesting.
Etienne, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Etienne?
Sure.
Etienne, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Definitely.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Sometimes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Let's say it's more than 8.
Etienne, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is called Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And the idea is you answer questions that are self-discovery, just like these, and it uncovers your mission, hopefully, which I like to term your own unique real statement. If you had to share with us, Etienne, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Etienne Crete, what would you say that is?
Consistency leads to consistency in actions lead to consistent result.
Love it. Etienne, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, I think it's just incredible how things can connect and how you make this like sound really, really good together. I think that's powerful, and I really hope people can look back at them and see, like, kind of analyze themselves, because it's something that is kind of missing for most people, to look back at how they perform and how they can be better. But I just want to congratulate you for all the interviews so far.
Yeah, I appreciate that tremendously, my friend. And you have just contributed to one more conversation. So, Etienne, I thank you very much. And thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com. And for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.